Hey everybody, since it's so cold outside, I'm trying to make it get into that tropical type of feel, so I got this little fake backdrop here, kind of get into a warm beach type feeling. But today we are going to be looking at division of fractions. Very similar to multiplication of fractions, except a couple little tweaks that we have to do, but otherwise the procedures are going to be the same. I would highly advise you to watch multiplication of fractions first before you get into the division of fractions. And we have one little technique, like I said, that we'll use that makes it very, very similar to multiplication of fractions. So I hope you enjoy. Please make sure you subscribe, comment, all that stuff. If I haven't done a video yet that you would like to see to help you out with your math skills, feel free to let me know, and I'll try and get to that as quickly as possible. Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at our first problem here. So we have 8/9 divided by 6/7. And if you heard what I said in the introduction here, that division and multiplication almost go hand in hand. You're just doing one extra step here. We're actually going to try and convert this division problem to a multiplication problem. It's the way it works out. So what we need to remember is what we call the keep, change, flip, or the KCF step. So we're going to keep this first fraction. We're going to change this to a multiplication operation, and then we're going to flip this. We're going to take the reciprocal, which is just flipping it upside down. So we're going to keep this as 8/9. We're going to change this to multiplication, and then we're going to flip this to 7/6. Then we revert back to what we did for multiplication of fractions. We see if we can cross cancel. Well, we know that 2 can go into 6 and 8. It goes into 6 3 times. It goes into 8 4 times. Look again to see if you can cross cancel anywhere. It doesn't look like we can. So 4 times 7 is 28. 9 times 3 is 27. We got to make sure that we fix that because that's an improper fraction. And we know that we take the bottom number, the denominator, and divide it into the numerator, which is your top number. It goes in once. We have 1 left over, so we have 1 and 1/27 as our final answer. Now, kids have asked me in the past, how do we know that this works? Well, let's take a normal whole number operation, right? So let's say that we have 8 divided by 2. Well, we know that that is going to equal 4. It's simple division. But if we want to convert this to a fraction problem, which we could, I don't know why you would, but just to prove as to why the keep, change, flip method works, well, we could actually make this as a fraction as 8/1. Still keep this division, and we'll make this 2/1. All right, now we're going to apply what we just learned, to keep, change, flip. So we have 8/1. Remember, that stays the same. This becomes multiplication. We flip this. All right, we can cross cancel using 2. 2 goes into itself once. It goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. And look, 4. So that is your proof to show that both reasons work. All right, let's look at one that's a bit more challenging. So we have our mixed numbers here. And just to review, we can't multiply or divide by mixed numbers. They either have to be proper or improper fractions. So I'm just going to move this over here just to do a quick review for you guys. So when we have 5 and 5 6, remember I say you start at the bottom and you're working your way this way. We're multiplying the denominator with the whole number, giving us a result of 30. And then you're adding that result to the numerator, which is 5. So we have 35 over, and we keep this denominator that we originally had. Now, don't try to do too many steps at once. Let's convert everything first. So same thing here. We have 6 times 3 is 18, plus our 1 on top. And we get 19/6. Now we can do our KCF. Sometimes I call it the Colonel Sanders step because it almost looks like KFC. So if that helps with your kids, or if you're a student learning this, you can always remember that. So we keep this, change this to multiplication, and then flip our second fraction. Let's look to see if we can cross cancel, which we can, which is nice. We get these 6 out of the way. So we have 35 times 1 is 35. 19 times 1 is 19. Once again, we got to fix this. Denominator into the numerator. It goes in 1 time, resulting in 16 over 19. All right, and remember, if you have a whole number, which, you know, in the case where you're multiplying something by a whole number or dividing by a whole number, as I showed you before, we just stick a whole number over 1 to make it a fraction here. All right, that's something that we have talked about before, but just to reiterate.
All right, everybody, I got to get going because I'm now late for the Jimmy Buffett concert. So I hope you found that was helpful. Please make sure to leave a comment if there's something that I might have missed or that you still need help on. It would be a pleasure for me to help you out with that. Otherwise, I hope it was useful. Enjoy the rest of your day.